Now to a mother's undying devotion to her son. Jonathan Crews was shot to death 5 years ago on Super Bowl Sunday. The only witness was his girlfriend Brenda Lazaro, who says that it was a suicide. In this Daily Mail TV exclusive, Jonathan's mother, Pam, disputes the claim, saying all signs point to something much more sinister. And she's now fighting to uncover the truth despite some formidable roadblocks along the way.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I've been doing this now.
Ma'am, I need you to tell me where you are.
I don't know. Please tell me what to do. And he's shooting himself on the heart. And he's dying right now.
It's the 911 call that marked the end of life for 27-year-old Jonathan Crews and changed the lives of his friends and family forever. Jonathan's girlfriend, Brenda Lazaro, made the call claiming it was a suicide. But Jonathan's mother, Pam, tells Chief Investigative Reporter Laura Collins that just didn't add up.
Why is it so inconceivable to you that your son could have committed suicide?
He was super exuberant. Every day he was excited for the day. But I just couldn't come up with any area of his life that would make him so unhappy that he would shoot himself. Somebody else shot him.
According to Pam, that somebody else had to be Brenda. Brenda was the only person in the apartment at the time of the shooting, and she admitted the two had argued earlier that day. Argued because Brenda was demanding Jonathan cut ties with a lifelong female friend. But Jonathan himself was also concerned about Brenda's emotional stability.
He said, there's a level of crazy, and I'm not sure how deep it runs, and I need to know before I can, fully commit.
Pam says Jonathan had already decided to break up with Brenda that fateful day. She disputes Brenda's claim to police that Jonathan shot himself to prove his love for her.
He was not some guy that was willing to give up everything he'd achieved and all the people that he loved for some girl he'd been dating for 10 weeks.
Pam also believes Brenda's grief was an act. She says Brenda didn't attend Jonathan's wake or funeral and then went off on Jonathan's sister, Danielle, who up until the shooting had been Brenda's best friend.
She went crazy on me. She was complaining that she wasn't involved enough.
None of you thought for a second to acknowledge our love during his funeral.
I was just mad. Like, how dare you say these crazy things?
I think she's a wicked person that has everybody fooled.
And what did police tell you initially about what they believed was the nature of the shooting?
This is not something he did to himself on purpose. And they told me to give them a little bit of time and maybe catch her.
But then a litany of missteps followed, including failure to run crucial forensic tests. That left the medical examiner unable to determine the actual cause of death and led the Coppell, Texas Police Department to deem the case open but inactive.
It was like a wall slammed shut. They didn't really want to talk to us anymore. They said there's nothing more we can do. We don't have enough evidence.
So, bewildered but not broken, the Crews family decided to conduct their own investigation. Their team of experts was able to get items tested that hadn't been examined when they were originally entered into evidence, including the shirt Jonathan was wearing when he died. Especially important, a distance determination test to show where the gun was in relation to Jonathan's body when it was fired. Pam believes the results will prove Jonathan could not have shot himself. While the Crews family waits for the new findings, Pam says she only wants justice for Jonathan and accountability from Brenda.
We just pray that the truth will come out. I do think that she should be brought to trial and made to answer for this.
Brenda is married now and expecting a second child and also still lives in the area. And while the Crews family has no contact with her and hasn't had any for years, Pam says she does not harbor any hatred toward her. We will, of course, continue to follow this story and bring you the very latest as it happens.